The gurus love to say that long form content is dead. Cool. Then explain this to me. People will sit through a 3 hour podcast. They'll binge an entire Netflix series in one night. They'll read a 700-page fantasy novel and complain it ended too soon. But suddenly, your 1,000 word article is where attention goes to die? Yeah, no. The problem isn't length. The problem is that most content gives people zero reason to stay. And today I'm going to show you why long form content still works, where the myth of its death came from, and how a landing page that broke all the short form rules in the book won massively. First off, let me say this. I hate marketing epitaphs with a passion. Do you feel the same perhaps? I mean, you know them. SEO is dead, Facebook is for your grandma, no one watches ads anymore, TV advertising is irrelevant, all that crap. So, no, Chad, none of those are dead. It's just that you don't know how to use them right or they don't make sense for your industry. I mean, there are still people out there who successfully market on MySpace. Why would Facebook be dead? Same story here. People don't read long form content anymore. That line sounds smart. It feels true and it spreads fast because it tells people what they want to hear. Because, listen, long form content is hard. It takes time, it takes brain power, and it takes a lot of audience building work to get people to read it. So, it's easier to call it dead and justify the epitaph with a mix of half truths. For instance, people have shorter attention spans. There's too much information online. There are way too many platforms. All of these are real, but they are also all wildly misinterpreted. Someone said this a few years ago. It sounded catchy. 10 other people repeated it, and suddenly it became best practice. So no one questions it anymore. I'm here to do exactly that, to question this. Let's make one thing clear. People don't have shorter attention span. That study that everyone quotes about people having an 8-second attention span, it has been debunked time and time again. If you're still here, your people have longer attention span. What changed though is the fact that they have higher standards for what deserves their attention. That's it. Give someone something worth consuming and they'll stay. Give them something predictable, generic, or forgettable, and they're gone in seconds, probably even less than 8 seconds. This is where most content dies. Again, it's not because it's long, it's because it's bloody boring. Then there's this other thing that really grinds my gears. People don't read, they skim. You've seen that what that advice did to content. It gave us this kind of writing everywhere. I call it broetry. It's painful to read, it's slower than normal paragraphs, and somehow it's still popular. Again, people don't really skim instead of reading. They skim to decide if something is worth reading. That's it. Skimming is a filter, not a replacement for actual reading. When something passes that filter, they do read it. So, yes, you should structure your content well. You should use headings. You should break things up. You should make it navigable. But turning everything into fragmented sentences doesn't help. It just makes you look like everyone else. And now let's get to the part that most people ignore. Short form content is built for attention. You've got your hooks, your punchlines, your scroll stopping lines, and they do their job if they're done well, of course. Short form content gets you noticed for a few seconds. But then what happens? Because attention alone doesn't build a business. And I'm sure you've seen this happen. A post blows up, it gets hundreds of likes, it gets a few "this is gold" comments, then nothing. There are no clients, no deals, and no momentum beyond that single viral post. You know what actually builds a business? It's retention. This is why the real game is taking someone from "I saw your post" to "I spent 10 minutes with your ideas." That's where everything changes. Because the moment someone gives you their time, they start trusting you. And trust is what turns into money. So, yeah, you need both attention and retention. Let me show you an example of how to get both. A couple of years ago, I wrote this page for an agency client of mine. It doesn't look like any other homepage out there. Most homepages act as ADHD triggers with tons of shiny buttons, videos, photos, colors, and more. This one is read it or live it. Did they read it? Yep, they did. My client's conversion rate increased by a 2-digit number since they published it. In XRs, this is huge. Better yet, this wall of text is a whopping 1,800 word page, and it sparked real interest and tangible results. They got dozens of emails from LinkedIn contacts, they got social media conversations galore, and they even got investor interest. Now here's why it worked. First and foremost, it worked because it's different. Since it's not the usual drivel you see on homepages, people are curious. The word sucks right at the beginning of the page helps too. So they keep reading. Also, this is very honest and transparent. There are zero claims of being the best. It's just an honest account of what a 15-year journey in the industry looks like. This is proof that you don't need a clickbaity hook and short form broetry to stop the scroll and increase dwell time. You need good, transparent content irrespective of length. Anything else is a hack, and hacks never work in the long run. Now, should you change your homepage to a huge wall of text? I admit I've been tempted. My wanted this format because they knew that their story plus my edgy storytelling chops would make for an excellent manifesto. Of course, I thought I could replicate this for myself, but it doesn't mean that it works for everyone, though. You know, my client is an industry leader. They're an IPAS veteran who actually shaped this industry. They can afford to be edgy. They can use suck in the page title and they can say screw best practices. We'll write our own rules. We've done it before. They are also very, very bold. There's nothing I suggested to them that they were unwilling to try out. And we've worked together for more than 7 years. You need a sizable set of cojones to even consider experiments like this. The truth is that not every page, the truth is that not every homepage needs to be disruptive or long form. If you're relatively new in your industry, you're better off with a regular homepage that acts as an intro for your brand. If your business relies on visuals more than information, again, you're better off with a regular homepage. The key is keeping people engaged long enough for your content to move the needle. And if you think this only works in theory, every platform out there is telling you the same thing. 2 years ago, a Google algorithm leak revealed something that SEO experts have been suspecting for a long time. The more time someone spends on a page, the more relevant Google considers it. Even if a longer session ends with a bounce, which means that the user doesn't visit another page, the Google algorithm sees that it's useful because people actually spend time reading it. The more the better. In SEO, long form content always ranks better, all other factors being the same. There are countless studies that are pointing to the same thing. The more you write, the more relevant keywords you can add, so the better you rank. And this goes for AIO and GIO and all the new breeds of SEO. Also, it makes perfect sense because longer content gives you more space to cover a topic properly, to answer real questions, and to keep people engaged. The same goes on YouTube. Retention drives distribution. The longer people watch, the more your content gets pushed by the platform. Again, this is a different platform, but the principle is the same. Time equals value. This is why whatever you sell, you need long form content somewhere. Whether it's your homepage, your blog, your landing pages, your YouTube channel, your emails, you need a way to retain the attention that you captured. You need to give people a chance to get to know you, your philosophy, your values. In my own business, people often tell me that they found me on social media but bought from me because of my emails. Now, I write these long ass emails that are essentially deep dives, nuanced takes on marketing strategy and various marketing tactics. If people had 8-second attention spans, no one would be reading my emails. But they do, and they buy from me precisely because it's long form content that builds trust and credibility. The fact that long form content also helps people get to know your philosophy and your values is more important than people give it credit because oftentimes it's not the outcome that gets people to buy or to choose one service provider instead of another, especially in consulting. It's reputation and how well your values align with theirs. For instance, do you sound like someone I'd enjoy having a glass of wine with? If so, I'd be more inclined to buy from you than from someone with a completely different set of values. So please don't listen to the gurus. Long form works and always will. Better yet, It doesn't just work, it gives you leverage most people never build. First, it builds authority and trust at the same time. Anyone can get a like, anyone can showcase their Lamborghini on social media, anyone can get a spike of attention. But holding someone's attention for 10 straight minutes, that's entirely different. When someone stays, they're not just aware of you anymore. They understand how you think. And that's the beginning of relationship building. In time, that's also what makes them trust you. Second, unlike short form content, long form attracts the right buyers and quietly filters out the rest. Short form pulls everyone in. Long form keeps the people who actually care. The ones who stay are the ones who are thinking, evaluating, deciding. They are the ones who may not buy right away, but they will buy at one point or another. When your long form content works, it removes the need, at least partially, to keep growing your audience. Instead, it helps you focus on creating a more invested audience. Long form content also compounds. While a short post disappears in hours, a strong long form piece keeps working. It gets shared, it gets revisited, it starts ranking in search engines and in AI chatbots. In a nutshell, it keeps bringing in people long after you've moved on. This is because you're not building moments, you're building assets. And finally, long form content fits everything else you do. It may take longer to create initially, but one solid long form piece can turn into multiple social media posts, email sequences, sales angles, entire offers, webinar, workshops, you name it, you can pull it from long form content. It becomes the source for a solid distribution strategy. So, yeah, thank you for listening to my rant about why long form content matters. I like to say that attention gets you seen, depth gets you chosen, and you can't get depth without long form. Now, if your content gets attention but kind of stops there, you have a strategy problem that often shows up disguised as a content problem. Most people know how to write posts, but very few know how to turn them into something that actually drives decisions. This is why I break down week after week in my newsletter, Strategic AF. I take ideas like this and show you how to apply them to your own content, your own offers, your own positioning, and overall strategy. So, if you're done guessing and you want content that actually moves people, the link is below. Subscribe to Strategic AF.